When life gives you lemons, you can choose to make lemonade. I choose to make lemonade. I'll share that with you today. As you know, this last month has been pretty stressful for me because, I had the bad news from the cancer agency, and basically when I think back about the conversation, she said, if we get you on this drug, it'll give you about 9 months. The bad news is she can't get me on the drug. She's tried every avenue and nothing's working. Hi, I'm Denise and welcome today to Travels in My Chair. Today I am actually going to share some good news with you because I'm taking control of my life and I think it bears sharing. When you receive bad news, you indeed can look at it as sour grapes or lemons or whatever and just go into that rabbit hole of depression. Oh my God, my life's over. But as you know from the video I did 2 weeks ago, is not only have I got my will and my DNR, and if any of you guys ever want me to go into more detail about all that, just comment and I will certainly do it, okay? So as you guys have joined me on my journey, you kind of know what kind of personality I have and how I, go on and on and on, but that's just the way I am. So after the doctor called me and told me that things weren't good on my CT scan, that my tumors on my lungs had doubled in 3 months, she had to come up with a plan B, and that was to put me on the drug tamoxifen. Now, tamoxifen has been around for many, many, many years, and I read about it. It is unlike letrozole, which is a hormone estrogen inhibitor. Tamoxifen is an estrogen blocker. I read that it's good for shrinking tumors, so I guess that's why my doctor's putting me on that drug. And I'll probably start it in a week. She said, she told me the side effects: blood clots, try to move around as much as you can, make sure there's no blood in your urine because there's a chance of uterine cancer. Your body's going to think it's going into menopause again and you will have hot flushes. And, you might want to warn Alan, who's my husband, that there could be major mood swings. And he goes, I'm used to that. So I'm laying in bed one night and going through, memories and oh, poor me and blah, wow. I don't know, guys. It just wasn't sitting right with me. It's not like me to be depressed for very long. And I tell you what, this just was wrong. Like, I don't feel, and I know this is going to sound really bizarre, I don't feel like I'm dying. I'm not in any pain other than my standard old hip pain, which is there all the time. I feel fine, except, I don't have a lot of energy. So what am I going to do? Just sit around and just wait for the clock to tick and go, yeah, 9 months is up, I probably should be dead by now. No. So I was looking at our meager little investments. When I worked for the Ford car dealership that I worked for 18 years, we had a little pension, and the whole idea of that for me was when I quit working or retire, then I will have enough money to buy a car because I won't have a demonstrator model to drive anymore. So I just, forgot about it, and when I turned 71, it had to be switched over, and we switched it over to a LIF, which is a limited investment fund. I think it's a limited investment fund. Anyway, didn't think anything of it. It's doing okay for itself. So I'm looking at it the other day and I'm thinking, that's my money. Why can't I have some of my money? I'd like to have some of my money to spend on fun things for us and the kids and my 10 grandkids. Why not? Because I told you in the last video that I'm not going to be doing long trips anymore. I don't feel comfortable being away from home overnight. I mean, I can if I'm in the motorhome, but I'm more comfortable in my own bed because it's a hospital bed and it raises and lowers, and That doesn't mean I'm going to just be confined to my recliner for the rest of my life. I've got too much to do. I decided if, when I die, that money goes to, well, I've got to earmark some of it for the grandkids. Somebody's going to have to pay income tax on it. So what if I have to now, and I can enjoy some of that money? And I'm not talking about a huge amount. So I got hold of my investment guy, and he said, well, what do you want to do with the money? And I said, I want to treat my kids and my grandkids to fun things like concerts, camping. This is fun money for me to enjoy them, whether I can participate or not, but I'd like to do it while I'm still healthy. And he said, well, that's wonderful, except you can't. I thought, why not? He said, the fund is controlled by the government, and you are only allowed to take out a certain percentage every year. The only way you can get around that is if you have a life-threatening disease that is terminal. Now, I have to be honest here, I hate the word terminal. I know we're all terminal. But to me, that word just seems like now, sudden. Oh, she's got terminal cancer, she's got 3 weeks to live, that kind of thing. Always hated the word. There's a weird thing that happens in my life all the time. I don't know if you guys have it or not, but I'll think something and it'll happen. Like, oh, good or bad, okay, I can think of someone I haven't thought of for months and read in the paper that that person's passed away over the weekend or something like that. My whole life it's been like that. It's kind of a strange thing, kind of worrisome a little bit sometimes. I'm sitting there thinking about what my finance guy had said. I think, okay, you know what, Denise, you got to phone your doctor and ask him if he or she, whichever, my family doctor or my oncologist, can do a letter for me. And I was dreading doing it because then that's putting the word terminal out of my mouth into reality. And you know, I like to block all that out of my head if I can. So anyway, the next day I'm sitting around thinking, I gotta phone the doctor, wow. And the phone rings, and it's my oncologist. Not a scheduled phone call. I'm like, she was phoning to tell me that she absolutely couldn't get me on the drug, the injectable. She tried all her resources, and hopefully down the road maybe she could, but in the meantime she was going to put me on tamoxifen. We talked about that, and then I said to her, I was wondering if I could ask you a question while I've got you on the phone. And she said, sure. And I explained to her my dilemma, that I wanted this money to have some fun with my kids and grandkids, and that I wasn't able to have it. She asked me what the fund was, what was the purpose of the fund in the first place, what was I planning to do with the money. She said, and how does this have to be worded? And I said, well, it has to be worded that my cancer is going to shorten my life, and indeed will be terminal. And I told her, I said, I hate the word terminal, but I understand. We're all terminal in the end, aren't we? And she said, yeah, we are. She says, yeah, I'll do up a letter for you and I'll get it to you in a few days. I went, oh, thank you so much. But it was so weird that I'd been thinking, and then out of the blue she phones, right? Don't you think? So the first thing we decided to do was do with my daughter Angela and my daughter Brad. We decided to go to Vancouver to go shopping. Nobody has any money, and I said to them, you know what, guys? I would never take you shopping to HomeSense and Michael's and Old Navy and Costco without treating you. I would not put you through that. That would be cruel. To say, oh yeah, you can look, but just don't touch. You can't have any of this stuff. So we just started off at HomeSense, and then I had to get some stuff for my trees at Michael's. You know, I say trees, but I mean trees. And then we went to Old Navy, and I don't know if you remember a commercial in the 70s where the old lady's going, where's the beef? Well, Angela and I were going around Old Navy's going, where's Brad? Where's Brad? She was in a trance because, you know, she's been living for 10 or so years in a village of 100 people in the middle of nowhere. She was like deer in the headlights. I mean, truly, it wasn't that she wanted everything she saw. She was just touching and looking, and we just kept losing her. So then we get to Costco. Well, OMG, guys, Costco. We went around the parking lot probably 3 or 4 times. As I could feel Angela, because she was driving, getting so uptight, and we were all really getting uptight, you know. And I laughed and I said, this reminds me of when I used to go shopping with the girlfriends. After I got MS and I got my handicap sticker, they used to laugh when we were trying to find parking spaces somewhere, downtown somewhere or whatever. And they'd say, you know, the only reason we have you with us is because you got the CRIP sticker. And I'd go, yeah, I know. Well, we wouldn't put up with you otherwise. We would just leave you at the curb. I said, yeah, I know. And we'd always find a spot, even in a crowded area. And I'd say, well, you know, that's God, little g, is saying, you know, girls, I need you to shop. So we're laughing. And as we drive around the Costco parking lot, crawl around the Costco parking lot, and Brett goes, Mom, Angela, there's a spot right there. And we nosed in just as a lady in a little tiny subcompact is going to pull in, and Angela goes, back off, we're getting this spot. And zoom, there was inches to spare. The lady kind of, but I don't think she was handicapped. Anyway, she didn't have a sticker. And we were right in front of the doors. So there you go, right? We were meant to shop. We hadn't been together for 20 years shopping, the three of us. And it was so much fun just to be with people, family, that know what my needs are. And there's no embarrassment when I need help in the bathroom, things like that. So it made the day really, actually quite a fun day. The next day, I said to my son, you know, Keith, remember when you and Erica went to Colin James? I think Erica said it was when you guys first met. It was a pretty important date, and you always really liked Colin James. I said, I just looked. He's coming to the Orpheum Theatre, which is a tremendous theatre in Vancouver, and he's coming on March the 1st. Would you guys like to go? You both turn 50 next year, and it would be an early birthday present for you both. Got back to me the next day and said, yeah, they'd like to go, so I ordered the tickets. Was so excited. That was the first thing. I don't even know at this point whether I'm going to get the money, right? But I'm already mentally spending it. And then Angela texted me to say that Disney on Ice was coming and did I want to go. And then Brett, when we were driving around, you know, the Costco parking lot, and I was telling her, you know, I was saying to the kids, I want to do fun stuff this year, whether I can be with you or not. This is the year for it, okay? And I said, what would you like to do, Brett? And she said that my kids have never been to a fair. I would like to take them to the P&E, which is the Pacific National Exhibition that comes once a year to Vancouver. I said, you got it, girl. So you see what I'm saying? It's what one person would want, another person might not want. This is money to do things that you would normally not be able to afford to do. That's what this is about. And I'm going to enjoy myself doing it. So far, I'm super enjoying myself doing it. I'm limited, and at this stage of my life, I have to take care of myself, but also knowing that I want my family to be safe and well adjusted as possible. And I can do that. And if during that I'm treating my friends or my family to little concerts or going out for dinner or whatever it is that we decide to do, take a course, it doesn't matter. As long as I'm well enough to physically go with them or enjoy what they get to accomplish, then I will be happy. And wow, that is, I don't know, guys, you should maybe think about it. You don't have to do anything expensive, you know? It can be just little stuff, like, you know, it's sometimes it's that, you know, you've heard that pay it forward or the little kindnesses of people. And this time of year, that's pretty prevalent. You see that a lot as you get closer to Christmas. And sometimes it just takes something little to bring pleasure. I also want to say a huge thank you to the ladies who've been purchasing my trees. I'm so eternally grateful. A work in progress for Anne. Almost done. Take control of your life. You know you can't control it 100%. You cannot make people do what you wish they would do. You can do a lot to make yourself happy and your family happy. So think about that. Think about who you can do something nice for to make them happy. I'm taking my friend to see a medieval production called Winter Harp, which is gorgeous to get us started for Christmas. Again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Comment, share, thumbs up if you think it's okay. And I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Love you all. Bye for now.